let me give you the assignment answers. The first main was fill in the blanks. The safety device based on the heating effect of electric current is called fuse. The filament of the electric bulb is made of tungsten. Fuse wire is made of an alloy of tin and lead which has low melting point. Now give two examples. Appliances that work on the heating effect of current. Iron box, geyser. You can give anything else also. Microwave, your heaters, etc. Appliances that work on the magnetic effect of electric current are television and generators. Now the next main was answer the following. What is an electromagnet? So when electric current is passed through a coil of insulated wire wound around a piece of iron, it becomes a magnet. Such a magnet is called an electromagnet. What is heating effect of electric current? When electric current flows through a wire, the wire gets heated. This is called the heating effect of electric current. I hope all of you have written the answers for the assignments in your notebook. Now let us begin this session with the introduction on what is light. Now we have finished the lesson on electric current and you have understood the two effects of electric current, right? Now the next lesson which we are going to move on is light. Now, like all of you know that the main source of light on the earth is the sun. So all of you know this, right? So what does sunlight do? It provides a lot of energy that green plants use to make food, right? And from this they get a lot of energy. And this process is called photosynthesis, which you are already familiar with, where photo means light, synthesize means to combine. So with the help of light they are able to make food, and because of that all of us are able to survive on the earth. Now similarly, another important source of light for the humans has been fire, right? So ancient times fire was another important source of light, and with the development of time, right, and with the development of electric lights and your power systems, this electric lightning has effectively replaced fire light. Are you understanding, children? So another thing where we talk about light is, this is another important thing which you have to know. There are few animals which can generate their own light, and that process is called bioluminescence. I don't know, this happened a few days back, maybe a 1 month back, in the coastline of Mangalore, where on one particular day they saw that there was a light bluish color on the coastline. That is, in the night they could see it. So there were a few algae, it was believed to be few algae which emitted their own light, and this usually happens because of climate change. That was what was told in the news. So what is this bioluminescence? Bioluminescence, it is when the animals can just produce they generate their own light. There could be another example where there is a kind of a firefly, and this firefly uses light to locate its mates, that is to locate its opposite sex. Okay, so they try to locate them, so they use this technology of bioluminescence. So now how do we define light? So there are so many things which are the sources of light, right? So, but how do we define this term light exactly in physics or in science? So, it is referred to a radiation, or it is a form of energy. Yes, so we say light is a form of energy, we say current is a form of energy. So here again, light is a radiation, or it is a form of energy which our eyes can detect, which our eyes can see. And because of the presence of this light, we can view our surroundings. We can view the surroundings because we know that whatever light is there around you, the moment you see, because of the presence of light, you can see things around you. That is because the eye, whatever the eye captures the image that is there in front of you, and that image is formed inside your eyes on the retina. Okay, and then the nerves inside send messages to the brain, and then you recognize whatever is there in front of you. Are you understanding? So when you define light, you will define it by saying it is a radiation or a form of energy that our eyes can detect. And one important uh, property of light, we will discuss some more properties. The first property of light, we say light travels from one place to another place in a straight line. So that we will discuss in the next slide. Okay. Now the first property of light is light travels in a straight line. So what is this property called? This property is actually called the rectilinear propagation of light. What is rectilinear propagation of light? It is the property of light to travel in a straight line. Okay. So when the path of this light gets blocked by any object, we know there is a shadow being formed. That is, if it's an opaque object, it forms a shadow. This is one important proof which shows that light travels in a straight line. Are you following? And I think last year also we have done this experiment where we had 3 cardboards made, and each of the cardboard had a hole made in it, and at one end we had kept a candle with which is lighted, and from the other end we tried to view the candle, and we had kept all the 3 cardboards in a straight line, right? And then when you moved one of the cardboard, you could not see the flame of light on the opposite end. So this is one very simple experiment which shows that light travels in a straight line. And you can also try to do this by using just a pipe. Just take a pipe, hold a pipe which is straight, keep the candle on the other side, and on from the other side you view the candle. You will be able to view it because light travels in a straight line. But if you bend the pipe and you try to view the candle, you cannot view the candle. There again it shows that light light always travels in a straight line. So have you understood? So this property of light to travel in the straight line is called rectilinear propagation of light. So this is the first property of light. Now when light falls on certain objects, okay, some objects allow light to pass through it completely. Are you following? So such objects are called transparent objects. Then there are a few objects which will allow light to pass through them partially. It will not allow the complete light to pass through it. So such objects are called translucent. And opaque objects are those objects which they do not allow any light to pass through them. So when it does not allow any light to pass through it, it blocks the view or it blocks the light, and instead what happens is a shadow is formed behind that opaque object. Are you following? So this happens in the case of opaque objects, whereas in transparent objects there are no shadows formed because you can see the light itself passing through it clearly. So depending upon the different types of objects, some of them allow light to pass through them completely. Some of them pass light through them partially, and some of them do not allow light to pass through them at all. Now the next property of light that we are going to discuss is reflection, where most of you would have heard the word reflection. Now what do we mean by the word reflection? Okay, so you know that light, you can see light, and when this light is incident or when it falls on some surfaces, it either gets reflected or bounces back. So on some surfaces, when light falls on, it either gets reflected or bounces back. Such surfaces are well polished and they act like a mirror. So usually from the mirrors which are very smooth and they are well polished, the light falls on it and it bounces back. So this phenomenon of light bouncing off surfaces is called reflection. So this is the way you will define reflection. What is reflection? The bouncing back of light from surfaces is called reflection. And when light falls on a plane mirror, now this is the mirror which you have in your houses. So if you have these plane mirrors, every day you look at yourself. So when you look at yourself on the mirror, what happens? You can see your image on that side only when there is light, right? So what is happening to that light? It falls on your mirror and it reflects back. So this mirror has a plane surface which is called a plane mirror. And some of the mirrors are curved, or it either bulges out or in. So such mirrors are called curved mirrors. So these curved mirrors you'll find in your cars, the rear mirror of the car. So when you're moving in the car, right, or your two-wheelers, these curved mirrors are found there. Even if you go to the barber shop, if you want to look at yourself nicely, the image there, you look very huge in that. So those mirrors are bulged mirrors. So they are called curved mirrors. So are you following what is reflection of light? This is the second property of light which we are going to talk about, and this does nothing but you just have to remember the term reflection, and you have to remember how you define reflection. Now reflection can be of two types. One is irregular reflection and the other one is regular reflection. Now what is irregular reflection? So irregular reflection is the reflection which occurs on surfaces which are not smooth. Are you understanding? And regular reflection happens when the ray of light falls on plane surfaces. So that is regular reflection. Have you all understood? Now, due to the process of this reflection, images are formed. Now, all of you have a mirror at home. You look at yourself in the mirror every day. You can see your image, right, in the mirror. But if by chance there was no light, then you cannot see your image on the mirror. So, as mirror reflects light, because of this reflection of light, an image is formed in front of the mirror, right? So the image that is formed in the plane mirror, simple plane mirror which you use at home every day, gives you exactly the same size as the object. Are you understanding? So if you are the object, you place it in front of the plane mirror and look at the image formed. The image formed will be the same size. It will not be very big or it will not be very small, right? The next, you look at yourself. There is one more important property which we will discuss in the next, where we talk about lateral inversion. Okay, so that we'll talk later. So next, the distance between the image and the mirror and the object and the mirror always remain the same. So what happens if we increase or decrease the distance between the object and the mirror? The distance between the image and the mirror also increases or decreases. Now this is one more characteristic of the image that is formed in your mirror. So this you can try at home. Now if you stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself, the image formed by the mirror is always left, right, inverted. Left, right, inverted means it is also called lateral inversion. Are you following? What is lateral inversion? It is the property where you will see that the right side of the object appears as the left side, and the left side of the object appears at the right side of the image. So this is called lateral inversion. This is called lateral inversion. So this is the characteristic of the image that is formed by a plane mirror. What are the characteristics of the image formed by a plane mirror? It is the same size as the object, and the image that is formed is always laterally inverted. Okay. Now let us summarize the important points. Light travels in a straight line, and that property of light that travels in a straight line is called rectilinear propagation of light. Any polished or a shining surface acts as a mirror. Reflection of light is the bouncing back of light when it falls on smooth and shiny surfaces. The image formed by a plane mirror is erect and is of the same size as the object. The image formed cannot be obtained on a screen. Such images are called virtual. So what are virtual images? Images which cannot be formed or obtained on a screen. That is, when you look at yourself in the mirror, the image is formed on the mirror. That image which is formed by the mirror cannot be obtained on another screen. So such images are called virtual images. Now try to answer the questions and write the answers in your notebook. Answer the following. What is reflection of light? Define rectilinear propagation of light. State the characteristics of the images formed by image formed by a plane mirror. Fill in the blanks. An image that cannot be obtained on a screen is called dash. So try to answer these questions. Now most of the part of this lesson has been deleted, children. So you are only learning the two properties of light, that is rectilinear propagation of light and the reflection of light. So it's made very, very simple. Thank you, children.